Not in my house.
Boy, if you don't...
That's your problem.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Heems, and guys, we are back with another podcast. To everybody out there, I hope everybody's having a great and beautiful morning thus far. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. We all finally made it. To everybody out there, guys, I hope the week's been good for you. I hope you guys been working hard, whether you or your loved ones are in school. To everybody out there who's still out there fighting daily with the pandemic and everything, guys, continuing to maintain work. I hope y'all are doing good and you guys are ready to relax and chill for the weekend. Today's topic, guys, gamers condemn a Google Stadia Montreal creative director for saying streamers should be paying for publishers. Following 3 days of good stuff announcements, Stadia has begun trending on Twitter following a tweet from Google Stadia Games and Entertainment creative director suggesting that streamers should be paying game studios a percentage of their revenue. From the first time we ever heard of Stadia, Google's still young game streaming service, the ability to easily stream your gameplay onto a service like YouTube Gaming or Twitch has been sold as one of the key focuses and advantages. While direct streaming to YouTube hasn't launched yet, Stadia has slowly ramped up exclusive features for streamers like Crowd Choice, which polls YouTube stream viewers to decide what happens next. On Twitter this afternoon, Alex Hutchinson, or as of yesterday, the Montreal studio creative director of Stadia Games and Entertainment, hired as part of Stadia's acquisition of Typhoon Studios, tweeted about the current state of a game streaming. As it stands, many creators fear the possibility of their content being taken down for copyright reasons based on music. Taking the idea a step further, Hutchinson suggests that streamers should also fear, quote, streaming games they didn't pay for as well, end quote. The solution he proposes is that streamers should be paying a percentage of their revenues to each game's publisher. According to his tweet, Alex Hutchinson states streamers worried about getting their content pooled because they use music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. His next tweet was, the real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for content that they use. Almost immediately, or before we even get into that, even just hearing that just for a moment, I feel like that's just the ego that comes into, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like, for me, just like a level of hatred, man. Like, as if at the end of the day, you're trying to knock down someone else's hustle. You're trying to knock down something else that somebody else does. It kind of comes back to like what I was saying before in a video I did where, you work at a job, and my job, I sit at a desk. But, to another person, my job's not anything. It doesn't mean nothing. It can be easily replaced. All I do is sit there all day. I'm lazy. I'm this. I'm that. And I know there's several other people, not just at, say, my job, but just any other job for that matter, whatever your position or your role is. Oh, you're just flipping burgers. Oh, you're just doing this. Stop doing that. All that stems from, at the end of the day, you're mad because someone else is, doing something or getting money where maybe you might have had to take a few more avenues and roads to get to that maybe this person may or may not have had to do as much as you to get to that point or to be almost on par with what it is that you do. So saying that, for me, in my opinion, it's like that's not relevant. And at the end of the day, that's crazy to sit here and make you pay for it. And then to even throw out there, well, some people aren't paying for games. Well, okay, for Stadia and certain other companies, for you to be able to access these games, you got to pay for it. Now, true, you do got people that do sit there and find other means of getting it, but most people pay for their games. And then on top of that, people who pay for their games are still paying a hefty price for music copyrights that have nothing to do with them. And to sit here and have to give your revenue to somebody when at the end of the day, they're already getting their cut. You playing their game gives them exposure. They even went as far as even letting higher streamers actually play their games early to give it an early exposure without exposing necessarily too much. At the end of the day, you need, especially in today's age, you need streamers and stuff to actually help. That's what's the demand right now. That is the big market. The big market right now is the fact that we have streamers and people who take the time and they actually play different games, try things, even just Among Us, which has been around for a long time. If it wasn't for so-called streamers or pushing that out there, you wouldn't even have, any kind of, residuals. You wouldn't even be able to work on, for real, a sequel. Because at the end of the day, the whole saying of, which is a double-edged sword, but the customer is always right, is because of the customers, because of the streamers that they're even considering, doing another Among Us, when that's been sitting on the back burner and sitting in the Play Store app for God knows how long. But guys, that's just part of my rant. But continuing on, almost immediately, this tweet was picked up on by broader gaming and streaming communities. By and large, the responses were not positive. Over the course of a few hours, Hutchison's handful of tweets altogether received nearly 10,000 retweets on Twitter, which significantly exceeds the combined total of retweets on @Google Stadia. Tweets across the entirety of the 3-day Good Stuff event, currently under 2,000 retweets. The intense discussion on Twitter has caused Stadia to become a trending topic in the United States. Some members of the streaming community, like Dr. Disrespect and Gothalion, were quick to point to Hutchison's position as a creative director for Google Stadia. In Dr. Disrespect's tweet, it says, creative director for Google Stadia. And then he actually basically retweets or requotes same thing. Now, Gothalion says a lot of people quote tweeting this hot take about how streamers should need a license from publishers to stream their games. I think we should be more concerned that anyone that works at Google Stadia is giving business advice. Yeah, that kind of for me is like, because it's like even with the steps that they took in with Google or YouTube, like I said, don't get it wrong. I feel like there were certain security implements that they had to do or what they had to implement was necessary. But I think too the problem was by them doing everything just all systematic, everything like an algorithm, they can't really dissect or really take things down. So basically when one thing comes up, it's like it affects everything. It's a domino effect. So it's like basically you're taking the easy way out. Let's just get a system that does this. And hey, if it messes up, somebody will come and complain. And then yet half the time when people complain about their situation and stuff, their complaints are never really met and it still is overlooked. Continuing on, other shared instances of streaming having a positive impact on sales, such as Among Us, a game from 2018 that exploded in popularity from hundreds of players to hundreds of thousands. One person tweeted, and this was Landon, KRNG Apollo, he said, streamers don't play games versus streamer play games. Or that I was about to say, because it says streamer don't play games versus streamer play games. Pay streamer. Then Hutchinson, okay, that was still his same tweet. So continuing on, guys. Games journalist Jason Schreier reminded that individual game studio employees would likely not even see a benefit from such a move, as such developers typically do not receive any royalties from work. Now, Alex Hutchinson says, amazing to me that people are upset at someone saying that creators of content should be allowed to make some of the money from other people using their content for profit. Jason Schreier said, I don't know, maybe you're getting flack because you're picking this particular battle in a world where C-suite executives make $30 million a year and developers don't get royalties, so they never see any of that streaming money in the first place. In a similar vein, Hutchison's Twitter bio was updated later in this afternoon to include all opinions my own. Additionally, YouTube's lead over gaming commerce and immersive, Ryan Wyatt, shared his own thoughts on the more symbiotic relationship that publishers and streamers can and should form. His tweet was, we believe that publishers and creators have a wonderful symbiotic relationship that has allowed a thriving ecosystem to be created, one that has mutually benefited everyone. YouTube is focused on creating values for creators, publishers, and users. All ships rise when we work together. I mean, guys, how do you honestly feel about that? For me, like I said, I feel like exactly just even hearing that quote from Riot is basically just a sound of someone that's really just butthurt, because either someone else that they're working with is making more than him, more than them. They're not seeing the residuals. And yes, it's not to take away from their work. They obviously work hard, but it's other ways of going about doing it. And, just be happy that you're getting some bread somewhere, because at the end of the day, It's a lot of people right now, even like during this COVID situation, who can't, make money, can't do anything at all, are struggling. You're a part of something that is great. And by exposing these products to the streamers and stuff, it basically gives you back 100-fold, millionfold in the sense of, your stuff is getting exposure. We just talked about even like Among Us. Among Us is 2 years old and nobody was thinking about it. And then it just took a few streamers one day who just decided, hey, let me go ahead and check out this game. Let me see what it's about. Then one turned into two turned to 10, 20, 30, 100,000. Now this game is popular so much so that they're actually considering making Among Us 2. That would not have happened if it wasn't for streamers. But at the same time, we need to take a cut from them, because that's BS. And it just comes back to, like I said, it's just an old thing. People just need to keep opinions to themselves. At the end of the day, be happy you got your cut. Be happy that you're even doing something. Be happy that you're even a part of something. If you want more, then go for more. Then do something better. But to sit here and just totally call out and say, streamers, that's unnecessary. Oh, and last little article, guys, and this will probably be the end of it, probably for the rest of this week, give or take, depending on how your boy feels over the weekend. This just in, the creator of the legendary Metal Gear franchise just announced a new game. Yes, guys, it's been a while since you heard from him. The studio behind Death Stranding, led by the legendary creator of the Metal Gear franchise, is working on a new project. Kojima Productions announced as much in a tweet on Thursday morning. The quote was, Kojima Productions confirms a new project is in development and is looking to hire the best-in-class talent to work out of our Tokyo studio. The new project marks the second production from Kojima's game studio since going independent in 2015. Previously, Kojima and his team operated as a subsidiary of the Japanese game publisher Konami, where they produced the beloved Metal Gear Solid game and series. Immediately before the following launch of 2015's Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, however, growing rifts between Kojima's studio and Konami became public. First, Kojima's production division, known as Kojima Productions, had its logos and verbiage removed from the official Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain website. Soon after Kojima Productions was dissolved, the Japanese knew that, at least that's what they said afterwards. Then Konami was forced to issue a statement. The statement, however, did little to clarify the situation. When Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, won an award at the Game Awards later that year, Kojima wasn't allowed to attend and receive it. The game's main voice actor, Kiefer Sutherland, was on hand in his place. It was rumored at the time that Kojima's contract with Konami was to end in 2015 and he would create his own studio. That rumor was seemingly confirmed in 2015 as Kojima left Konami, reformed Kojima Productions as an independent studio, and created a PlayStation 4 exclusive game, Death Stranding, in 2019. Though not as popular or as a success as previous Kojima titles, Death Stranding went on to critical and commercial success. Quote, we obviously crossed the line we needed to cross to be in the black, including recovering development costs, so I call it a successful result, Kojima told LiveDoor in an interview translated by VGC earlier this year. We still have the PC release coming up, and we've secured enough to begin preparing for our next project, so there's no need to worry. So guys, I'm actually looking forward to that, man. I've always been a huge fan of the Metal Gear Solid series, and Kojima thus far has not put out anything that was trash all the way back since NES to where we at now. Truth be told, I need to get back on Death Stranding for you guys so that way we can go ahead and wrap this up and see what the story is all about. But guys, that's just my rant for the day. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments. If you guys, of course, feel like we either need to actually maybe give some residuals to companies, or do you feel like that's fruitless in the end? Because like I said, I just feel like it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Most people pay for their games. I would at least like to think so. And the fact of the matter is we're already taking a hit now, even with the new update with Twitch as far as bans on music. And you can't control, it's one thing to say your background music, but if the music is included in the game, what are you supposed to do about that, or why should you be dinged for that? So guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Definitely, if you like this podcast and others, please don't forget to hit that follow. Make sure you tune into your boy. We'll definitely be back with some more content. I don't know if I'm going to do anything at all this weekend because I'm actually doing a 12-hour shift Saturday and I work a 16 Sunday. But guys, we will definitely kick things back up starting next week, and I'll definitely try to secure some more content stuff for you guys, both on the podcast as well as on YouTube and Twitch. But to everybody out there, guys, this is your boy Cast Gaming, signing off with another podcast. I'll see you guys soon. To everybody out there, peace.